Welcome back. And our next guest is Catherine McGowan. She completed her bachelor in speech therapy and audiology at Stellenbosch. After qualifying, she spent a year working at the Hope School for physically disabled children, where she met Taran. And I'm wondering what that is all about. You will explain to us. You moved to London after that and worked for 10 years in both the preschool clinic and mainstream school settings. And I can't go through your whole bio, as fabulous as it sounds, because we have only about 20 minutes on the show today and so very many important questions to cover. Very good morning to you. Welcome to the program this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, when I was growing up, I had a cousin who stuttered a lot. I haven't met her in a long, long time, so I'm not quite sure what the situation's like now. But when I was growing up, in my young mind, I kind of thought she was attention seeking by doing that. And I think a lot of people probably had that perception. As a speech and a speech therapist and speech and language therapist, do you find a lot of people have that perception, and how much of truth is in that?
Yes. I don't think there's any proof in that at all, because the child really cannot help their stutter. And actually, it's more embarrassing. It's more embarrassing to stutter. You would rather not. And there's a lot of research on the bullying and the teasing of stuttering. So I can imagine maybe with a young child, if they want their parents' attention, that might be a different story. If they're in a big family and they want their parents' attention, then sometimes they will stutter and they will realize, oh, when they stutter, then everybody is quiet because they are more. The parents are shocked and horrified by the stutter. And as you can hear, I am a stutter myself. So
Oh, I didn't pick it up.
yes, so actually I'm a speech therapist and a person who stutters, so I have personal experience.
Okay,
But
so
I don't.
are you born being a stutterer? That is the right terminology, number one.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
with the correct therapy, can you outgrow it?
Mm. Okay, that is a very good question. So the answer is yes, you can be born with it. Yes, so it is hereditary. So on my family, I have it on my father's side. So I did have a genetic predisposition to stutter, and I guess so did my brother. But and even though my brother is a male and he's more at risk for stuttering because more males actually stutter than females, it was because of the other external factors affecting me. Maybe it's my personality, my speech and language development, the environment I was brought up in, um, which exacerbated it, which brought it out. While my brother, I think, more because of his personality being a little bit more laid back, not so sensitive, his predisposition didn't didn't continue. He started stuttering a little bit, but he didn't continue. So with me, mine did continue, and I did go for speech therapy back then, but there was not much research back then when I was growing up. But now the research is amazing, and I'm so pleased that I can say yes, one can do something about stuttering, but from a young age, not the statistics. They say before 7 years of age, and one can cure the stutter, one can fix it. But after
Completely.
that, yes, you can,
So,
even
how
if
do
there's
you,
genetic link.
okay, Catherine, how do you, as a speech and language therapist, assess the severity and impact of stuttering in both children and in adults. And obviously, when we talk about adults who stutter, the indication is that they were stuttering from childhood, but because it's never been addressed, they've kind of lived with it through their life. And then on a scale from 1 to 10, what is a very serious or severe stutterer? I'm not sure if that's the correct terminology, but just for the purposes of this program.
Yes, yeah. So we've actually used the term 1 to 10. So that is what we do to,
Oh, wow.
because with stuttering, we can do an objective measure on the stutter. We can get them to talk, and then we can count the syllables on a clicker, and then we count the number of stutters. So it would be the number of stutters per syllable as opposed to per word.
Okay.
So we can do that, but it's a bit invasive to do that. So what we normally do is we do an objective, sorry, we do a subjective measure, and that is between 1 and 10. And so 1 is no stuttering, 2 is ever so slightly that the parents would pick it up, I would pick it up, and then 3, other people are noticing that there's something not right, and 4, the severity increases 4, 5, 6, and then 10 is the most severe stutter one can imagine. So that's the scale that we sort of use. So it is subjective, but it helps us in able to see if there's progress with the child. So the child arrived um, in my rooms, say in January, and their severity was a 6 out of 10. And now we in June, and the severity is now at a 3. So I can see there's progress. I think we not
What
only
happens?
mm,
Sorry for the interruption. What happens,
mm,
Catherine? So you've seen progress in a short space of a couple of months. How much longer should this child be in therapy with you? Is this something that you will, in another month, year, or 2 years, say you're good to go, you don't need therapy any longer? Or is this type of therapy almost lifelong? It doesn't need to be necessarily on a on a weekly basis or a regular basis, but once every so often. Does a person who has stutter problems have to keep checking in with their therapist from time to time?
mm. It's a good question, and it depends if it's a young child. If it's a young child, then obviously our aim is to fix it. So if they're under 7, they will probably be with me for less than, it can range from a month to a year, I would say. And after a year, if it hasn't gone away, the likelihood of it going away is less. That would be a child. But for an adult, often the stutter is there to stay. It's going to depend on the situation that they are in, external circumstances, and as with all of us, we do need to check in. So, like even with me, who has a stutter as well, I need to check in with myself as well to realize, oh, okay, so today, okay, my stuttering is 4 out of 10, and normally it would be about a 2. So today, what I need to do is I need to speak a little bit slower. I need to use all my strategies, all my techniques that I've taught myself to make sounds longer, make them softer. Um, yeah, so it's a tricky one because each person is also very different. But on the whole, adults don't spend forever in therapy because it's just too expensive. But the onus is of us as a therapist to make them their own therapist so that they have the tools. Yes.
Okay, it is 11:45. We need to go for an ad break. When we come back,
Okay,
we'll
no
continue
problem.
this discussion. We're going to talk about situations when a person finds himself in very compromised or stressful situations. Does that impact on their stuttering, and how
Mm,
quickly can they recover?
mm.
But all of that and much, much more with you, dear Catherine McGowan, speech and language therapist. I presume you're based in Johannesburg.
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect. Stand by. Let's go for the ad breaks.
that's lovely.
Attention against their smartphones, you need to make smart choices, like using Sunfoil triple refined pure sunflower oil in every meal you make. It's naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether you're cooking, frying, or baking, you get the great tasting results that'll get their attention faster than the latest app. And if that doesn't work, change the Wi-Fi password. Sunfoil. Now we're cooking.
Operation Kurbani Maulana Timor will once again be taking a trip abroad for Kurbani. Many people in the villages live well below the poverty line and only eat meat on the days of Eid al-Adha. Support this cause at 2,100 Rand for 7 shares or 300 Rand per share. Contact Maulana Timor, Maulana Sajjad, Maulana Hamad or Maulana Abbad on 011 852 6324 or 072 299 9268 or 082 368 6866 or 072 697 0131 or 073 576 9786. All slaughtering will be supervised by a team of foreign and local ulama. Visit www.operationkurbani.org.za.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042 203 1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic, Sharia, and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Conveniently located along the banks of the Crocodile River bordering the Kruger National Park, as a guest at Buckler's Africa Lodge, one can enjoy an amazing sunrise or sunset on our spacious deck area while you catch a glimpse of some wildlife sightings along the Crocodile River. The sounds of the African savannah will greet you whilst you enjoy your morning coffee. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Buckler's Africa Lodge is ideally situated only 6 kilometers from the Crocodile Bridge Gate in the Kruger National Park. Catering for all travelers with variety, we have 4 types of the finest rooms: superior rooms, deluxe suites, and 2-bedroomed family units. Each room is equipped with the finest amenities to make your stay unforgettable. Guests can choose between the self-catering option or book their accommodation with breakfast and dinner included. Buckler's Africa Lodge is your ideal location for the ultimate Kruger getaway experience. We specialize in exhilarating and educational game drives in Kruger. tailor-made to suit your family. Inquire about our various accommodation offerings and other activities. Visit www.tingana.co.za for more information. Buckler's Africa Lodge by Tingana Collection. Experience the pulse of Africa with us.
This Eid al-Adha, your Qurbani can help feed the needy across the world for as little as 995 Rand. We pride ourselves in ensuring that only the best animals are chosen and that your sacrifice is carried out in a dignified manner. Our teams distribute fresh meat during the days of Eid, tackling hunger in needy communities. Follow the footsteps of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and give your Qurbani today. Call us on 021 633 6413 or visit our website at muslimhands.org.za. Muslim Hands, united for the needy.
Salam Media, a global voice for humanity.
Welcome back, and we're having a very interesting and empowering discussion with Catherine McGowan. She's a speech and language therapist, and from what she tells me, of course, I kind of wonder how parents cope with a child or children or even a partner who stutters, because I should imagine it sometimes becomes tiring for both the person who stutters and family members as well. They would lose their patience with their loved ones, and that could result in poor self-esteem for the person who stutters. And I guess the relationship then does start to suffer. Your thoughts, Catherine? These things does impact on personal relationships, does it not?
Yes, it absolutely does. But in the therapy that we do, there's a large psychological component. It's not only the physical stutter or the neurological stutter. So we do deal a lot with thoughts and feelings and working on our communication skills, not only on the actual fluency of the speech. And what we do is the onus is on the person who stutters to take control, to take charge of themselves, and it's our role to educate the public, to tell other people how we feel about our stutter, and to be open about it. And what we have to do is we have to, if we meet a stranger or somewhere, it's very good to use the word advertise, to say, oh, okay, hello, my name is Catherine and I do have a stutter. So just bear with me if I get stuck on words, because it can be very embarrassing when one struggles even to say one's own name, and then the other person thinks it's a joke, and then they make jokes like, oh, you don't even know your own name. Then it makes it very awkward for both parties, for the listener as well as the person who stutters. So it's very good to be open and honest about one's stutter. And that just creates this environment in which it can be openly spoken about, because often something like this you don't speak about. People should know, oh, Catherine's got a stutter, but we don't really talk about it. But I guess because I'm a speech therapist, I do talk openly about it too. So it is on the onus of both the parties, I guess, to speak about it openly.
I think the one thing we're very guilty about is when you are in company with a person who stutters, one does become a bit impatient, and one tends to complete their sentences for them because you kind of know where they're going to with a particular thought. How damaging or embarrassing is it for the person who stutters?
Sure, that's quite a hard one, and I think it depends from person to person, and also I mean, if I'm really having a bad day with my speech and somebody completes the sentence for me, sometimes I'm actually relieved, but actually must rather be cautious and not complete their sentence. That's the rule, is to rather not complete the sentence, and to just try and maintain eye contact. To show them that you are listening. And it's very frustrating for the person who stutters, because they want to talk, but they are just held back by the speech impediment that they have.
And if one allows them to complete their sentence or their train of thought, there are two things that's coming across to the person is that I hear you, I see you, I respect you, because you're
Love it.
allowing them the space in which to express themselves. Would that be right?
That's
Okay.
beautiful. Very
All right.
so,
Can you explain the I think it's pronounced LitCom or LitCom program and its effectiveness in treating early childhood stuttering? I understand it's an Australian-based intervention. Would you say that the LitCom is one of the state-of-the-art interventions that does work and you do see amazing results?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been using it for years, and I have seen amazing results. So one doesn't in South Africa, one doesn't study, or well, one can't be certified as a LITCOM trained therapist at university. So it's sort of a specialization that one does after university. So I was just very lucky that I worked in the UK for 10 years. So I was exposed to the training, and I could receive the training. So it's just unfortunate that in South Africa, we don't have somebody to train us up. So very few therapists in South Africa are trained to do the LITCOM program. But in Australia, all the therapists who study speech therapy, they actually get trained in university. So so it's a very effective program.
Well, Catherine, you've just identified a gap in the market. Perhaps you should take on the training and
Yes.
train other therapists in South Africa. We will have to round up in a minute or two, but one or two very important questions I need to ask you. I understand that you worked at the Talk Shop in a private capacity where you developed experience with verbal dyspraxia and more recently dyslexia. Can you explain those two? I know what dyslexia is, but for the
Yes.
purposes of our viewers and listeners, what is dyspraxia and what is dyslexia?
Yes. So they're not linked to stuttering. It's just with speech therapy, there are a variety of speech and language problems. So with dyspraxia, it's motor learning problem. So the child, from a motor planning point of view, they struggle to plan their speech. So even saying the sound pop, or even saying the word pop, they don't. They have to. We have to physically work on the lips actually coming together to say pop. It doesn't come naturally, so we have to work on the motor planning and the muscles and the movement for speech. And then dyslexia is a reading and writing a difficulty that we are more familiar with.
And
And
it
it's not
doesn't
only
mean, I know
the
dyslexia is when you confuse the B and the D and the P and the Q and whatever have you. People who stutter do not necessarily have that as an
no,
added problem. Okay, we're going to be wrapping up now, and let's understand, um, are we geared up enough in South Africa to be dealing with the problem of stuttering? And when and how should a parent, a caregiver, a teacher pick up on the fact that this child is stuttering and he or she needs the necessary help or support?
yeah. So And fortunately, not too many therapists are specialized in stuttering. But the most important thing is to not leave the stutter, and that's what actually happens. Is the doctors, especially the GPs, we find often say they will grow out of it, and oftentimes they will grow out of it. But times when they don't grow out of it. So it's important, if there's especially a family history, if the mum or the dad or any of the family members, if they stutter, that is a big red flag, and there's a high risk that the child might develop a stutter. So I think what's important is to rather not leave it, but just to even a therapist that even a speech therapist might not be specialized in stuttering, but at least they can give the basic advice, and that should at least help the child. And if the child isn't meant to stutter, they won't. And if there's an underlying thing going on, then they will be referred to a specialist who deals with the stuttering.
Catherine McGowan, speech and language therapist based in Johannesburg. Thank you indeed for your time and giving us an understanding of stuttering. And like you've indicated, no, people who stutter are not attention seeking. Thank you so much. God bless and go well.
Thank you so much. Take care then.
1 after 12 o'clock, we're moving along, and our next guest, I understand, has connected already. So we're moving along. Please stay with us. The next guest is none other than Ardley Jacobs, based in the Western Cape. And we're going to hear a little bit about his life and the Mubarak days of Hajj, inshallah. Stay with us.